Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're tuning in from the world today. This episode is all about high school, and more specifically surviving Miss Calandro's AP English class. Today we will be interviewing some of Miss Calandro's surviving AP students, asking them about their specific strategies and skills that they've learned and experienced in the past year.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, thank you. That was Seth Powers chiming in. Now that we have him here, we might as well ask him about his experience. So, Seth, how did you manage to get past this year?
Well, I can tell you it definitely wasn't a layup. For book quizzes and the vocab quizzes, I actually had to read, I had to read the Scarlet Letter and In Cold Blood. But last year in honors classes and stuff, I could look over someone's shoulder and look for an assist, if you know what I mean. But this year I couldn't get by like that.
That sure sounds like a lot of cheating, Seth. Have you tried that this year?
Of course I did. Early in the fourth quarter, though, luckily. If I attempted to cheat in clutch time, late in the fourth quarter, definitely would have been a mistake. The AP environment is different, and cheating is certainly not allowed. It's a personal foul.
That's some surprisingly good information, Seth. So you're an athlete, am I right?
Yeah.
How did you manage to, balance the workload of the AP class and be in all these sports?
It is hard. You got to really focus and make sure you're dedicated to sports and doing your work. Definitely wouldn't have passed this class.
So you gotta do both. You gotta do both the work and the sports.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Interesting.
Dribble
All right.
with both hands.
Dribble with both hands, he says. All right. That's some good information. We're gonna take a short commercial break and we'll get back to you with more experiences. And we're back with a new student, Tammy Lynn, who is a varsity cheerleader and also a waitress. She's going to tell us a little bit about her experience in Miss Calandro's AP English class. So hello, Tammy Lynn. How are you doing?
Hi. You look so good in that shirt, honey.
Oh, well, thank you. My aunt got it for me, but that's not the point. I'm sorry. So you're here with us today. Do you have any advice about getting through AP English?
Oh, you're so cute. Anyway, this year in AP English this class was a little much to handle, but like I always do, I found a way to pass. At first, I made sure I was really, let's say, nice to certain people so I could have homework favors taken care of, because I had so many other things to do with cheerleading and waitressing. It took up most of my night, so I didn't have time to do the homework.
Yeah, I completely understand. Well, what restaurant do you work at, by the way?
Isn't it supposed to be about AP English?
You're right. I'm sorry. Back to the topic. Do you have any more tips? Anything that could be useful to people coming in?
Well, these homework favors ended up nipping me in the butt. Miss Calandro gave these quizzes and stuff about the books, and I had no idea what was going on. There's Scarlet Letter, Great Gatsby was asking all these questions. It was crazy. I looked at the paper, and for once, I had no idea what to put down. So after this, I knew I had to buckle down and read the books this time. It wasn't like honors last year where I could just use Spark Notes to get by. It was pretty difficult, lots of responsibilities. So yeah, but my schemer friend Billy Madison could tell you more about that.
Thanks, Tammy. Hey, what are you doing later?
Wherever you're gonna be.
All right, I guess on that note, we'll go to commercial break. Thank you very much. And we're back, folks, with my friend here, Billy Madison. Billy's dad owns everything, and he has quite a lot of money. So how are you, Billy? It's been quite a while. I understand most of your schooling has been through cheating and through daddy's money. Can you elaborate on that?
Thank you, Mr. Host, sir. And actually, Miss Calandro's class, being I only was in it for 2 weeks, was actually one of the hardest courses I took.
But I don't understand. If it was the hardest course you took, how did you even pass?
Please, I did, and watch the tone you're giving me. In order to take over my father's business, I had to go back and repeat grade K through 12 in about 24 weeks. So I actually did pass your class, and I could tell you that it was a hard time. When I first got there the first day, I was pretty liquored up. You know what I mean? And I was just trying to cope with the hangover from the night before, and she signed The Great Gatsby. And I laughed because I knew I would never read that during the rager I was going to have at my house that night. Tammy Lynn, you remember, right?
Yeah, that was a great night.
Hold on. You're telling me you read and did all that testing in 2 weeks? I refuse to believe that. I'm done with you. Let's get someone back in here.
Yo, hold your horses, buddy. I had to really buckle down and do my work to get it done those 2 weeks. Scheming off people? It didn't help me in Miss Calandro's class on the quizzes I had to take. And forget about the timed rights. I had to do that all by myself. Most of the grades were a piece of cake, though. But AP class, it's not the way to go, scheming.
So you're saying you cheated, or you tried to cheat through all of this work, but it didn't actually work?
Oh, of course. Every time I looked over, she was staring right at me.
It's crazy.
Got some hawk eyes.
Well, that's actually some very useful information, Billy. So that's great. Thank you. You're free to go.
Oh, thanks.
Please, your helicopter is here, so it's going to be waiting for you. Yeah. So next up, we have a very successful student, unlike the past three, that will give us some good advice on how to pass Miss Calandro's AP English class. And we're back, now with our last guest, who I'm very, very honored to have with me on camera, the one and only Courtney Shu. She's an understudy of Stephen Hawking. We are very grateful to have her. And she's just flown in from delivering her TED Talk on the economic dissonance in the Dominican Republic since the fall of the Spanish Empire.
Thank you, Ron, but please, enough about me. You're being incredibly annoying right now. So I just need to be quick with this, and I'm going to bless this audience with my depth knowledge about the Miss Calandro's AP English and Literature class.
Anyways, why don't you just tell us about your year here?
Well, this year was a breeze, as usual. Even with the class as vigorous as this one, I maintain a 4.0 GPA, unweighted. But let me tell you how I aced this class in particular. It took a lot of hard work. In honors, I could half-ass things and sometimes even take time rights with my eyes closed, but for this one, I actually had to keep my eyes open.
You know, it's very interesting you say that, because I hear a lot about the timed rights and other assignments from the other people we interviewed. So, with the timed rights, like, what's so difficult about them? What exactly is the challenge there?
I don't really understand. I mean, every morning I wake up at like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. to read every article of the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, so that definitely helps, and I bring those arguments into my essays.
That definitely must help you. So you're saying that background knowledge definitely helps you with these time rights?
They
yes?
definitely do, and I would definitely recommend reading the book. Sometimes reading books 2 or 3 times.
Wow, that's definitely dedication. So, all in all, would you say that the time rights are very important? It's very important to focus on them. Are they worth a lot? Like, what's the deal?
I'd say they're definitely worth a lot. They're a big portion of your grade. It's definitely a step up from honors. In honors classes, you could just write and go off in tangents and not really have it a thesis. But in AP, in this AP class, you really need to have a clear and coherent thesis and really focus a lot on your time rights.
Well, there you have it, folks. Apparently, the timed rights are incredibly important in AP English, and it takes a lot of focus to get this done. Now, let's go on to another topic. I hear a lot about these book quizzes and the books and more reading. Like, what was your experience with that?
So you definitely have to read the books. Every few pages or chapters, you can just expect to walk into class and expect a reading quiz on last night's homework. Usually consists of 50 pages, so just expect those.
Have you ever tried not reading the books? See how that did for you?
No, I read books for fun. Sometimes, like, in my sleep, I read books.
So would you say it's important to read the books to get good grades on these quizzes?
Definitely read the books. Read the books 2 or 3 times at least. Sometimes up to 5 times.
Oh my god, that's quite a lot of times. Well, yeah, as I said before, I heard from a lot of the other students they struggled when they didn't read the books. So it's very interesting that you succeeded by reading the books. Interesting. Have you ever? I see that you're very successful with time rights, these book quizzes. Are there any other hardships or any other notable assignments that you would like to talk about that was hard for you, maybe?
Well, nothing was really hard for me. I thought it was really easy. I don't know where this is coming from. Are people saying it's difficult? I really don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Interesting. So I guess all in all, you could say that if you focus, if you do the work that is assigned, if you try hard at home, you'll do well in the class. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct.
Very peculiar statement. Never heard that before. Well, thank you. In the next segment, we will have all 4 students talk about their experience. And we're back with some closing remarks from our 4 students. So they're just going to tell us some extra information or any concluding remarks that they want to say about Miss Calandro's AP English class. So we'll start with Courtney.
I would say to do the sub work when she's absent. Take it seriously.
Interesting.
Don't take your phone out in class. Believe it or not, Miss Calandro will take it away.
Very interesting. You don't see that very often.
It is possible to balance all this work with extracurricular activities. I promise.
Awesome. Good, well said.
When you're choosing your seats, make sure you sit next to people that you're not going to talk with the whole time, because she says a lot of important information and you want to make sure you get it all.
Well said from all of our students. I think in conclusion, we can say that Miss Calandro's AP English class is a very important class, also a very hard class. Can we all agree? So let's say to leave this video, you all go home knowing that you need to try hard on the timed writes, read all the books, do all the work at home, and you should be good. Am I right? Any more closing remarks?
Good luck. Pretty good.
All right. Good luck. We should put this in bloopers.
Holy